Video games have been around for decades. They've only taken off in the last couple of generations as an accepted mainstream entertainment medium. As with most things that become popular, there are those that immerse themselves too far in their quest for rewarding feelings that often fuel the fires of unhealthy addiction and even murder. Here are some video game related deaths. The Case of Rustom, the Binger. A 32-year-old man was found dead in an internet cafe in Taiwan after a marathon 3-day gaming binge. He was found dead in an internet cafe in Taiwan's second largest city. An employee found him sprawled out on a table, motionless and unresponsive. He was quickly rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead from cardiac failure. The man was unemployed for a long time and found solace in internet cafes where he'd disappear for 2 to 3 days on end. It's unknown how long the man had been dead, but it's assumed for several hours, as he'd been stiff when they found him. The sad thing is that when police and paramedics arrived, the people in the cafe themselves continued gaming as if they didn't even notice what was happening. The police statement said that cold temperatures combined with overexhaustion contributed to his cardiac arrest. The employee said he was a regular who spent so much time there, he'd often slump face first on the table or slumped in his chair, and that's why they were unaware of his death. The Case of Jung, the World of Deathcraft. A 23-year-old man died in an internet cafe in New Taipei City after 10 straight hours of gaming. The deceased man, who worked at a local cable TV network as an engineer, had paid for 23 hours at a New Taipei City internet cafe at 10 p.m. on Tuesday to play World of Warcraft, but died 10 hours later. The employee who found the man said he was a regular, and he had seen him come in on a Tuesday night. When the employee came back to work the next day at 3 p.m., he noticed the gamer's head drooped slightly, and his hands were stretched in front of him, touching the keyboard. "I thought he was only dozing off and paid no particular attention," the employee said, adding that when he went to wake the man up, when his 23 hours were up, he saw that his face was blackened and he was sitting rigidly in the sofa chair. Around 10 other players were in the cafe, but said they only knew something had happened after the police started cordoning off the area for forensic sweeps. But to the police officer's surprise, most either stayed in front of their computers and kept on gaming, or took little interest. Low temperatures, along with sitting for long periods of time in a cramped, cigarette smoke-filled internet cafe, helped to trigger the unfortunate gamer's cardiac arrest and death. The Case of Rustom, the Bored Gamer. A 17-year-old man who was fixated with playing the game Defense of the Ancients died after reportedly playing it for 22 days solid, stopping only to eat snacks and sleep. The young man who had broken his leg was bored at home, saw his character die on screen before he passed away. Investigators stated that the addicted gamer spent more than 2,000 hours playing the game in the last year and a half. That's a schedule that works out at around 6.5 hours a day, culminating in the intensive, almost non-stop sessions over 22 days leading to his death. His parents said that they usually heard him pounding at his keyboard at all hours of the night, but on August 30th, all went quiet in his room. He was rushed to the hospital but declared dead on arrival. Doctors believe he could have died from second-class syndrome or deep vein thrombosis from having a broken leg and not moving around. The case of Basia, Turta, the wealthy rage gamer. In this story, from the Ukraine, we have a 14-year-old millionaire's son who went into a frenzy that ended up with his best friend dead. The boy reportedly had $25,000 worth of computer games that had been given to him from his father. The boy had invited his 15-year-old friend over to his house to show off his brand new games and VR headset. The victim's body was found by his friend's grandmother. "He stabbed my son with a knife," said the victim's father. "He had 27 stab wounds. His head almost severed. His neck cut from ear to ear." This was the first strike, the experts told me. Then he abused the corpse after the boy was dead. The grieving father branded the attacker a maniac. It's believed that the millionaire's son lost a match in a game he and his friend were playing and got enraged to the point he grabbed a knife and began to stab his friend. As blood poured from his friend's neck, he chased him through his house, viciously stabbing as he went. The killer was convicted of murder committed in the heat of passion as they played computer games. He was sentenced to 3.5 years jail by a Ukrainian court. Thanks for sitting around and humoring an old fox and his tales. If you'd like more, please hit like and subscribe. And remember, nothing is more frightening than a fear you cannot name.